I'm here in Southern California for the driving event for the new Lexus ES, but fresh out of the Japan reveal is the new TZ. It happened to be here, we lucked out. We're gonna cover the ins and outs of the new Lexus TZ, the electric 3-row crossover, so let's get into it. Can I open the hood? It says key not detected. Okay, I got it. Okay, yep, we're good, thank you. All right, popping the hood here. We don't have shocks. Interestingly, there's a prop stick here. Again, this is pre-production. It'll be interesting to see if we do have prop sticks or shocks to lift up this hood. There is no frunk. Okay, this is an adaptation, the TNGA platform from Toyota's very popular K platform TNGA. All right, so we have 2 battery pack sizes here. The same sizes, actually you could say, from the Highlander EV. So we have a 96 kilowatt hour battery available, as well as a 77 kilowatt hour battery. Lexus says they're aiming for 300 miles of range. We don't have an official range yet. We do know all-wheel drive is standard. Lexus can't say too much about specs yet. We know on the press release, it said 402 horsepower, so that's what I'm gonna roll with until I'm told different. But we know that there's also a 450e, not only trademark, but also that was released in the images from Japan. So it'll be interesting to see what this thing will be badged as, named as, possibly 450 or 550e, but for sure, dual motor, all-wheel drive is what we're getting, around 300 miles of range. All right, let's get into charging as well. Let's close the hood on this shaded ivy paint color. So it's not letting me open this. Let me open this real quick. Let's see if we can get this to open. There it goes. So we have a motorized little output here, and in the press release, Lexus said it's so that, well, I can close the door. The door is not helping the case right now, but it's so that when the door opens, if there was a charging door, if it was manual, it would open quite wide, and therefore it could be a hindrance into tight parking areas. All right, but in terms of charging, this might be unfamiliar to many of you Americans out there. This is a European spec, so this is a CCS2 charger. In America, we'll have the NACS. I've seen at least 11 kilowatts of AC charging. It could be faster, so stay tuned for more information on that. DC fast charging, I don't know if we have information. Of course, like I said, it's still NACS for our market, and that will be around 150 kilowatts, just like the Highlander EV or the Lexus RZ as well. So is this a button? Go and press that button. That button looks to be like the button this little shell hits, okay? While I'm down here, we have 22-inch wheels. These do have a resin cover that's inset into them, okay? So I wonder what they look like if you pop that out, but it won't be as aerodynamic. You can get this in 20-inch wheels as well, but that will improve your range, honestly. So it's possible that the range could go higher than 300 with the 20-inch wheels. We'll have to wait to see. So I'm gonna put the key back in the car. This is actually a new key fob, not a design, but the texture here is new, and it actually kind of matches the texture here on the dash. So I love that attention to detail there. It's something I'm definitely expecting from Lexus. Soft closed door test, number 1. And it works. Let's go and check out the front end here of the TZ. What a better way to show this is the European spec with the big license plate cover up front, okay? So the daytime running lights, let's see if I can turn them on real quick. Yes, yeah, that's much better. Okay, so daytime running lights on top, and we do have an upside down turn indicator right here above that, headlights down there at the bottom, and there looks to be 2 beams. This may be your low beam and your high beam next to that. You also have side lamps here, so when you're turning at low speeds, that will illuminate out to the side. So the front end here looks very much inspired by a couple things. Obviously, Lexus's famous spindle grille, but with the more modern vehicles, they've been tying it into the body with the new RX, the RZ, the new ES has more of a spindle body grille, where there's less grille and more of the spindle just built into the front bumper. All right, the Lexus badge is right in front, which is staying true to all the other Lexus crossovers. If you look at the IS and the ES, the badge is actually up here instead. Okay, also I feel like if you married the RZ with the Lexus GX, it has a very similar front end to here. We have a very muscular hood here that reminds me of the GX, to be honest. As we come to the side here, Let's talk about dimensions. In terms of size relative to something like a TZ, all right, it's actually about 3 inches shorter front to back. It's about 200 inches. Wheelbase is, I want to say 120 inches. And then the height is actually about 3 inches lower. I want to say about 67 inches compared to the 70 inches that we have on the Lexus TX, for example. Okay, we have very prominent. This is what's popping out to me. It pops out more in person, this 3D effect here on the door, than it did in the photos. Obviously, the blocky haunches above the wheels is very prominent as well. As I come to the back, this does remind me a lot of the RZ, how this pops out here with the blinker right there, the turn indicator. It also reminds me a little bit of the new ES. So definitely looks a part of the new modern family for Lexus, the RZ and the ES, and now the TZ. Okay, we have the light bar on the back, the Lexus emblem. Well, it's a word font because the emblem's gone. The emblem has been getting replaced over the years with the word font now. All right, whether it's actual individual letters sticked on, but this, now the Lexus badge is fully illuminated and integrated into that tail light. Looking at this rear wheel, we do have optional rear wheel steering here. It can turn 4 degrees to reduce the turn radius in parking lots, and it can also improve handling at higher speeds. Lexus has also done tons of rigidity improvements compared to probably the Highlander. Keep in mind, this is built in Japan, Highlander is built in Kentucky, and so they've gone through extra measures to make sure this is a more solid ride, a more firm ride, a better handling ride, as well as a quieter ride. So Lexus is claiming that this is the quietest Lexus SUV ever. So I won't be driving it today, but I'll have to test that out one of these days in the near future. This vehicle is launching in 2026, at the end of 2026, so I will be driving it before the end of the year to tell you just how quiet it is. So in the back, I want to say it's about 13 to 14 cubic feet of space. We do not have a spare tire. We have a fix-a-flat kit. There's a Toyota Lexus charger underneath. We have 1500 watts of AC power output, but looks like you need an adapter for this. But again, this is a Euro spec. Wait for the US spec. Here is the speaker. We have a Mark Levinson 21 speaker system in here that is available. I don't know. I haven't looked to see if this one's equipped with it. I can fold these seats up. Okay. They do take a very, very long time, but it'll give you a good idea of the time lapse of these seats going fully forward. Okay, so here is the cargo capacity now that the seats are up, and then you can have a little underfloor storage as well. Okay, so let's go and close this down. Door handles are flush mount. You know, this has a very slippery design for aerodynamics. Better aerodynamics means more range, better efficiency. They've even redesigned the mirrors. These are not a Lexus mirror that I remember seeing before. I haven't looked at the ES's mirrors too closely, but this is definitely more aerodynamic design here. 0.27 is the coefficient of drag on the TZ, and that means it's about as slippery as a Camry. Okay, we have sunshades back here, a little super suede or ultra suede here. I like this. It looks like, it could be aluminum, but it almost looks like, you know, the patterning you get on a nice sushi knife. And there's also ambient lighting that the camera's doing a decent job of picking up. But yeah, there's that Mark Levinson speaker. And then you can see it illuminated on the camera, just barely. All right, so let's see here. Is there a button to get back in the back? I don't know. Let's see here. There we go. There it is. There's a button to get in the back seat. So this is only, even though this is a 3-row crossover, I've just verified with Lexus, it's only a 6-seater. There's no 7-seat option on this model. I do have heated seats in the back. Some of you guys were asking about that. I also have a button right here to recline the seat. Headroom's good. Headroom's really good. Check this out. And guess what? This is a must for the 3rd row, for luxury. Event 4 inches from my face. That is exactly what I'm looking for. Windows could be bigger, but I'm in a crossover, not in an SUV. It's actually, to think about it, these are about the same size of the windows in a Toyota Sienna. That's how small the windows have gotten in Sienna in modern times. So it's big enough, I would say, big enough. And just like the Lexus TX, you have this little handle to get you in the back to the 3rd row. What's the leg room like? Well, the seat in front of me is not all the way back. I have actually good leg room. Okay, even in the middle here, you can see in the middle, Okay, I can move my foot forward. This little piece is removable. Similar sort of designs that we see in the Lexus TX as well. So pretty good third row space. And there better be when you only have 6 seats. Okay, let's see if we can move this seat back here. That's how you do it. Okay, you can fold it completely flat. We have thigh extension. Oh no, this is your ottomans, guys. This is your ottomans. You have ottomans on each side, which I think is a Lexus first. The LX Ultra Luxury, I think only has an ottoman on the passenger side. And I think there's an ottoman on the front passenger too. I could be wrong. All right, I'll have to check that out. But yeah, these are electronic seats. I kind of like where they're placed here because if you have kids going to the back, they're not going to be probably pressing this while they're in the back seat, messing with the kid in front of them. All right, so let's go and get into this seat. Let's talk about this panel roof. You know, Lexus said, hey, we did some sort of drawstring. That's what's coming to mind. It's kind of like a corded pull for the sunroof shade so that it doesn't take up headroom in the third row. It is a pretty massive sunroof and I think it does open. Yeah, I see the button there. So this is one of the largest opening front sunroofs I've ever seen on any vehicle. That is fantastic. Notice the vents above. Again, the ambient lighting looks a little bit more pronounced here that the doors are closed. All right, what's comfort like? Well, it's pretty natural to have the electronic controls over here on the side, to be honest. Vents above. I have climate control back here. Okay, I can put it on auto. There's, you know, your Celsius for your Euro specs. All right, it's a fine touch panel, whatever. USB-C's here. And then this is like a hideable tray. I'm not gonna mess with it. I don't wanna break that. Maybe I don't know. It was like that when I got there, guys. You saw that. A couple cup holders too. But yeah, these seats are comfortable. It's a Lexus. It's really, really cozy. But let's get into the front seat. What are we expecting from this updated, very futuristic and modern cabin? Well, let's find out. Again, the attention to detail on this front door panel is very similar to what we saw on the back door panel, of course, just with a lot more switch control, auto folding mirrors. Very, very nice. Okay, Lexus scuff plate here. We do have a thigh extension. Ooh, it's motorized. That makes me happy. These seats we do have, I believe this is Nulux. I'll have to double check with Lexus because I couldn't find anything in the press release if this is Nulux, a synthetic leather, or if it's leather, but this is like a super suede accent here on the edge. I like it. You know, people say, you know, suede doesn't age as well, but when it's on the outside, it's not getting rubbed on as much compared to the upholstery here. Okay, let's get in on the inside. Good door slam. This vent control. Okay, this is good. You know, a lot of people were worried about the vent control. I actually like it. It's not the best. It's definitely way better than the BMW I had the other week because I can actually see the vents moving. So I'm okay with the vent control and being it kind of recessed. All right, because I can see the vents. In the BMW, I couldn't see the vents at all, and it was just not an ideal experience. So this is fine. I don't have any issues with it. Okay, USBs below, HDMI, that might be for Euro market. A couple wireless chargers here. Hey, you know what I'm seeing here? I'm seeing a lack of shiny, blinding materials. Okay, I know it's cloudy, Kirk, I know, but other than maybe this and maybe this are the only places that would blind me. All the way down here, there's a little glossy black, but really Lexus has done a good job mitigating reflective surfaces, and you know, that makes me happy. Okay, cool dash design, more suede up here. We have a digital rear view mirror, and again, that cool accent here. It does feel very nice. Does it feel like, it feels like modern Lexus. It almost feels like a concept car in here because everything's so smoothed out and the controls are so minimal. Okay, what does this feel like? It's tactile. It feels like a real button. I'm actually fairly happy about that because these buttons, even though if I turn the car off, they do go away, I promise you. Let's see if I open the door. Okay, they're not going away right now, but I promise you they do go away. And we have this is not as good as a volume knob, but it comes close. So I'm actually pretty happy with this. Here's the new Lexus Multimedia. This is Lexus's version of what the new RAV4 has. So I'm kind of excited. Okay, speed limit, caution alerts are on. I cannot wait to disable that if I'm actually driving it. Okay, so this all looks very familiar. Okay, I know, it looks all familiar. And I'll disable that beep that you hear every single time I'm in a Toyota vehicle. So anyways, here's there's a little electric page here. All right, charge limit, charge and battery. You can do schedules. That's all super easy and intuitive. So well done with making this easy to work with seemingly so far for Lexus. What about fan? I don't have fan buttons. People were asking me, Kirk, what about fan buttons in these cars? No, I just have climate control temperature, but not fan button. It's just like the RAV4, except the RAV4 has physical buttons here. This is fine because it's tactile. It actually depresses. I'm not hating it. It's actually fine. Okay, this view is unavailable, so it won't let me do 360 camera right now. Volume knob or volume scroll wheel. It looks nice, it feels okay. It's not as good as a rotary dial. Let's talk about this steering wheel. What did they do to my boy? My Lexus badge is gone. They put the word font in here, but it's gonna be less reflective. So it doesn't look as nice, but it is less reflective, and that is a win. Let's feel these buttons. Let's play with this. All right, oh yeah, I forget how convoluted this software is back here. I did a whole video on it on the RAV4 if you wanna learn how to use Toyota's new software behind the screen. Okay, but actually, I'm not hating this. It's a little bit of a learning curve, but this is way better than the head-up display with the customizable buttons that just like disappear on you. Okay, that's on, and for example, this is a head-up display model. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up. It's a head-up display model. So these buttons don't disappear. And for example, it doesn't look like they pull up. It's not like on the RZ I was just on, if you hover your finger over that field of touchpad, it will come up here, also come up on the head-up display, but it's not doing that right now. So that means these buttons are fine. I'm actually fairly pleased with this, to be honest. I thought I wasn't going to be, but here we are. We have paddle shifters up to 5 different settings of regen. It still doesn't do one pedal driving to my understanding. And up to 0.2 Gs of deceleration just by the gas pedal alone, okay, or the accelerator pedal in this instance. We have suede around this little screen. I like it. Some people are definitely not going to like this, but I find it actually easy to clean off. Obviously you're not going to be touching it, but it is collecting dust. But yeah, I have no issues with it. This is fine. I'm actually pretty pleased with the interior of the TZ, much more than I was with the TX, I would say. And I'm maybe even more so pleased than I was with the RZ that I drove the other week. If you missed my review on the RZ, go and check that out. It was a fun nighttime review. This even has a glove box, unlike the RZ, so that's a win. It's also felt lined. What about in here? Felt line, there's a light in there as well. So with the TZ launching later this year in 2026, it's great to have more 3-row crossovers in Lexus's lineup. Big vehicle sell, families want more options, and if you don't want a fully electric TZ, you still have the hybrid and gas models of the TX, which, let's be real, it's pretty much the same vehicle. Obviously, this looks totally different, will drive totally different, it's electric, but in terms of people carrying capacity, you have your options as well as powertrains now within the Lexus lineup. So stay tuned for more. Hopefully I get more details about the TZ from this event, and I will be driving it soon for you guys. Thank you.